Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Alicia and today I'm going to be talking about the top school districts in Colorado Springs. And I think you should hear from me because I have an unbiased opinion because I don't have any kids. And I'm going to tell you why my opinion is probably the best opinion. So stay tuned if you want to find out the top school districts in Colorado Springs. Okay, so first off, I'm going to start with Manitou Springs, District 14. Manitou Springs is actually on the western side of the city. If you take Highway 24 and you're kind of on your way out to the mountains, you're gonna go through Manitou Springs. It's definitely a little bit of a smaller suburb, has a spiritual hippie vibe. It gets a lot of traction on the weekends for tourists, hiking, lots of trails in that area, but not a lot of people live there. It's highly desired, but you know, people just don't move out of that area. Once they move in, they don't leave. So housing is a little scarce there. And with that being said, the school district only has about 1,500 students, and that's pre-kindergarten up to 12th grade. That's a pro because you have smaller classrooms, you have that like student-teacher interaction is definitely more there. Smaller school means everybody probably knows everybody. The downside is they don't receive a lot of funding. They have kind of mediocre facilities. There's definitely no parking. The parents that I'm friends with that have kids that go to those schools, they like it because it's that small hometown feel, but they definitely wish that they just received more funding, you know, better books, better computers, whatnot. So little pros and cons to that. Then the second district that I'm gonna say is most talked about among my friends, my family. Gosh, I mean, just we're a military town. If you didn't know, if you haven't seen in my other videos, Colorado Springs has 5 military installments here. We got a lot of Air Force, Army, you name it. So obviously that means we have a lot of people being transferred here, a lot of people coming in. And a lot of those people that get transferred near the base, need to live near the base, they send their kids to FountainFort Carson, District 8. And I will say District 8 probably has the most diverse students out of all the districts here in Colorado Springs. But I'm assuming that's because 70% of their enrollment is military family connected. So you're gonna have people from all over the country in these schools. And if you're looking online at statistics, the district overall is probably going to have lower graduation rates, and that's not knocking the teachers in that district. That's just, again, most of those families are military. They get uprooted and, you know, families have to move across country, out of state, to different towns. So I think that is one reason that if you're going to look online, try and get stats about FountainFort Carson, District 8, and the schools in there, the statistics are not going to really reflect the students there and you know, statistics and test scores and whatnot. I do like one thing about what all these schools in District 8 offer is a program called Compact. And this is actually, I guess, a national program with schools in kind of military towns that helps kids transition with the frequency of always being uprooted. So that program I heard has been pretty successful. I know parents and have friends who have kids and they definitely enroll their kids in the Compact program. They like the adjustment that they see their kids make. It's not so hectic on them. And honestly, I just kind of like wish my mom would have had this when she was younger. My mom was a military brat. And to this day, I still hear her talk about stories of, you know, when she was always being moved around the country, moved around the world. She never made friends, or she didn't want to make friends because she knew that she was going to have to leave them in like 3 to 12 months. Or she was always like getting picked on, being the new kid, which made her kind of hard, kind of rough around the edges. That was a totally different story for my aunt. My mom's sister was all about it. She loved meeting people, was like prom queen, whatnot. But my mom did not have the same experience. My mom just, the moving And being like a military kid, like definitely affected her. It definitely made her kind of cold and mean and not really do as well in school, because she thought like, hey, why would I spend all this time studying for this test, learning the subject, when maybe like in a month I'm not even gonna need it. I'm not even gonna be here at this school. So I have heard good things about the program Compact that District 8 schools offer. And I think that's just a good thing for military families to have. And, you know, I'm sure a lot of these kids probably can relate to each other, because it's like, hey, where are you from? Where are you from? So District 8 doesn't really reflect, I'm gonna say personally, Colorado Springs natives, Colorado Springs lifestyle. Like I said, it is a majority of mixed families from all over the place. So just one thing to keep in mind, great school, good sports programs, but it is, you know, if you're gonna be living here and you're not military, maybe think of maybe sending your kids somewhere else, somewhere where like they can make friends and stay friends with those kids, you know, through the next couple of years of middle school, high school, and whatnot. Okay, so let's jump to the other side of town, the north side of town, and we're going to talk about District 38, which is located in Monument. Sorry, we have a lot of districts here. Like I said, I'm just giving you the top ones that I hear my friends talk about, my friends, you know, complain about, love their teachers, hate their teachers, whatnot. So, yeah, Monument, District 38, on the other side of Colorado Springs, way up north, is about 7,000 students, and that's that pre-K to 12th grade. There are 2 high schools, and overall, their sports are pretty good. I'm just gonna say all the high schools, even middle schools here in Colorado Springs, have a pretty good sports program. I mean, we're a very outdoorsy state. We just are active. But the thing that I really like, that I hear my friends talk about, that they enjoy for their kids, is that the schools in Monument have prep courses for college. So it's just a lot of focus on, like, if you want to go to college, this is the intensity of what the classes are going to be taught like, this is the level of the education, this is the workload that's going to be expected of you, writing papers, studying, and whatnot. So I don't know how much their kids love it, but I definitely know that they have a lot of college prep courses that the parents really find helpful. They do feel like when the kids are into it, they're really into it. And then when they do go off to college, they're not hearing about like, oh man, it was such a shock, mom. So that's one thing that I really like. I really haven't heard any cons about that from any of my friends, families, past clients that have moved here. Like I said, kids probably don't like the college course load when you're, you know, only 16, 17, 18, but parents do love it. It has been beneficial, and that is one reason that I know a lot of people do send their kids to the Monument schools. And the next school district up is going to be Academy District 20. Academy District 20 is by far the largest school district. It covers a lot of the northern area of Colorado Springs. It's not as far north as Monument that we just spoke about, but it has over 26,000 students between their pre-K and their 12th grade. So it covers a large area. It's probably the second best school, I'm gonna say. It just has it's in an area where there's a lot of new build going on. There's a lot of younger families that are sending their kids there. They have a lot of sports programs that are, again, that excel, go to state every year, really well at competing. But I think what I hear the most from my friends is that they love the arts program. Academy District 20 is really into their arts program, and they have a trades program that I feel a lot of students actually like. So if you have a kid that's just like, college is not gonna be their thing and they're just not interested or whatnot, the schools actually offer several trades programs, and I don't know about all of them, but I do know the 2 most popular ones are the automotive program and the building construction. So, I mean, that's definitely always a need. We always need more mechanics, because Lord knows I do. My car is almost always breaking down. But yeah, I've heard a lot of parents, they like those programs. The students like those programs. They feel less pressure to go to school, to go to college, because they're now actually learning something that they kind of naturally like. I have a bunch of friends who just have boys who, you know, as teenagers, they don't want to focus on anything, especially schoolwork, but they really love going to that automotive class. So that is one thing that I've heard a lot of parents the arts program in general. They also are really big into their theater. I think they have one of the more bigger theater programs. I'm always seeing online and around town and parents talking about like my kid's doing this, my kid's performing here, I gotta go there and do this play and da-da-da, which is great. I really think we need to bring the arts more back into the schools, but that's not my decision. But I will say, I do know that the parents who do send their kids to Academy 20 district, they like that. But I'm gonna say the number one school with the best reputation, sort of, is probably Cheyenne Mountain District 12. Cheyenne Mountain District 12 is on the southwest side of town. It's in a old money kind of neighborhood. It's up against the mountains, so beautiful views, beautiful trails, very desired area. A little bit of old money, a little bit of new money. They get all the funding. They have all the amazing sports programs. They're the ones that go to state every year in every sport. They're the ones that have all the kids receiving scholarships and whatnot. I mean, I remember back in high school, stuff's like 18 years ago, like I dreaded going to Cheyenne Mountain for sporting events because I was like, I knew they were gonna kick our butts. Overall, a really great school. It's, I think, where everybody wants to send their kids, but it is very cliquey at that. With that being said, I have heard parents are like, man, I wish I could send my kid to Cheyenne Mountain, any of the Cheyenne Mountain schools, but it's just so cliquey. I don't want my kid to have to deal with the clickiness or getting picked on or whatnot. And I will say, they are the only school district out of all the ones that I've mentioned. They're the only ones that don't have a busing system. All the others, you know, Manitou, FountainFort Carson, Academy, they all bus in their students. You know, if you're in the area, they do have bus schedules set up. Cheyenne Mountain District 12 is the only one that doesn't, and that's fine, but it kind of just reflects the need for that. Like I said, it is set in a little bit more just kind of higher income family area. And so, I mean, I don't know a single kid that goes to Cheyenne Mountain High School and doesn't have a car. They all have cars. They all have really nice cars. So that's just one of the things, you know, great school, top everything, sports, music, scholarships, but it is cliquey. It is going to have like the less diversity, and it's going to be the most desired. And in Colorado Springs, we do have what's called Choice In, which to me is like pretty much back when I went to school, we had open enrollment. Didn't matter what district you live in, you can go to that, any school that you desire. You just have to choose in now. And that application starts, I think, about 4 or 5 months before the next school year begins. But you can choose into any of the districts that I mentioned here today. So there are your top school districts in Colorado Springs, told by a non-biased, non-parent. This is just what I hear, the gripes, the pros, the cons, the cool things from my friends, colleagues, past clients, current clients. This is the word on the street. This is kind of what we're seeing from the education system here in town. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. And until then, see you next time.